Welcome to Mysteries, Monsters, and Mayhem.
I'm Shannon Lawrence.
And I'm MB Partlow.
Quick content warning before we get started. This podcast may contain language and disturbing content, so enter at your own risk.
Hello. Hello.
So, we have some news.
We do.
This is going to be our last episode. We've had, 5 years?
5 years.
Yeah.
Because we started in February of 2020? February or March?
September of 2020.
Oh, was it that late in the year?
Yeah.
I believe you.
I don't know. Because it was around the same time we quit Pikes Peak Writers, and I quit the Pie Bar.
Yes.
Which I think was August, and in September we started. So,
anyway,
we've had a good run.
We have.
But
we've learned a lot.
Woo! So many things.
Yes.
Listen, I've learned things that I said that were wrong in the earlier seasons.
Yes.
Like being indignant about bipolar being depicted a certain way and then learning some people could have those, that kind of bipolar. So, definitely learned things.
And I learned a lot about how victims of crimes are portrayed in the media, because when you're researching, so for instance, if you're looking at a serial killer, because we've talked about plenty of those, there are some victims who are identified by their first name or by their husband's first name. Now, I know that was the habit long ago, but it's like her name was Betsy. She was 30. There's
You're
nothing else
great.
about her.
How can I find out more information about Betsy so I can actually tell you about the victim of the crime instead of just the killer?
Instead of glorifying, which is not what we ever attempted to do. But
no, but I learned, I've been reading true crime and watching it for a long time since I was a teenager, right? And I reached a point where I was like, I don't want to talk about the killer.
No.
Anymore. And the thing is that I wanted to, because I still have that need to understand how their minds work, which is what it always has been with me. But I was also indignant about, we don't know anything about these victims. They're not even treated like a whole human, but we know everything in childhood that occurred to this fucking serial killer or whatever. So yeah, that got on my nerves.
And I'm like, there's 100 other people who were treated just as badly as he was. It's generally a man. And they didn't turn into serial killers.
Yep.
I'm always fascinated by the side of it, the people who study it and do delve into why did they turn out the way they did.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can't fix something if you don't understand it, much like how do we stop mass shootings? Right? You have to understand the person who's doing them, why they're doing it, what's wrong with them to begin with. Because again, this person can be bullied and not turn around and shoot up a school.
Exactly.
This person got bullied, not even to an extreme extent for any of them, as far as I recall, and turn around and do this to make a name. But, with that, they say a lot of it is copycat and trying to get into the news and stuff, even when they kill themselves, though, which puzzles me. So you want to be famous after you die? That's your whole ass goal?
That's not a good goal.
That's a weird goal.
That's a dumb goal.
You're never going to know.
I'm just going to call it. It's a dumb goal.
It's a dumb goal. So yeah, still be intrigued by all of that stuff.
Yes.
I'm not going to stop. But now I don't have to be like, ooh, could I cover this?
Yes.
Can I do Phil about a certain amount of time?
I have so many files I can delete now.
Yeah, it's true.
I have on Instagram, on Facebook, on what's the other one? Pinterest. Just random files on my computer that are all MMM. Mysteries, Monsters, Mayhem. Potential.
Yep. saving screenshots of stuff that I run across to look into later.
Yep. And people send us stuff.
Yep. So I wonder how long it'll take me to stop taking screenshots of that. I'm gonna look into this anyway.
Because I have, and sometimes people send me stuff and I'm like, that's great, but either A, it's not true. And I'm like, well, thank you so much. This is fascinating, but I don't know that whether or not I'll be able to use it is usually what I say. Or it's really interesting, but it's 2 minutes worth of material.
That's the biggest problem is, I can't fill enough space with this by itself. So unless I find something to pair it with.
Yes.
Then I can't do it. So there are plenty of things I was like, cool, I'll learn about it anyway. I'm just not going to be able to cover it on here. So, yeah.
And we've gone down many rabbit holes. We've had many interesting conversations about things that had nothing to do with our topics.
It's true.
Talked a lot about food.
We enjoyed food.
Yes. Talked a lot about restaurants. Have you tried Upstate Pizzeria?
I haven't, but I've heard of it, and that you got to go there for New York pizza. Have you tried it?
I have tried it, and it's really good pizza.
Yeah.
It was really good. The thing is, they're from the part of upstate New York that I am from. Because when I first walked in, I said,
You were like, mm-hmm.
I said, and so what part of upstate? And the woman's like, I beg your pardon. I said, what part of upstate New York? And she goes, oh. And I can't remember. I'm blanking on the name of the town. I went, oh, well then, yeah, I grew up here and I went to school here. And we stood there. And she goes, I'm trying to perfect Mama Sergi's pizza roll. And I was like, you call me, put me on the list. If you could,
I will sample it for you and tell you.
Because Mama Sergi basically took a small pepperoni pizza, rolled it up, and dropped it in a deep fryer.
Okay.
Oh, it's so fucking good. Everybody who went to college in either, because there are two Sergis, one in Canton and one in Potsdam. Oh, that was the late night snack for college students.
Sounds
oh my
legit.
God. It was, it's greasy and gross and wonderful.
And then there's a new Chicago pizza place, but I forget what it was called. I took a screenshot of it to eventually visit it.
I keep thinking I want to try new pizza places, but I'm really lazy.
We have no shortage of new pizza places at any given time in the city for some reason, but I think that we have several very good pizza places.
Yes.
And so it's not a place that we're slacking.
I would agree.
Yeah.
But upstate, they moved, so they're off of Austin Bluffs and Barnes, like near Doherty.
Mm-hmm.
They used to be downtown, and that's why I never went, because I was like, ugh, I got to go downtown and find a place to park. And I'm a big baby about going downtown. I hate trying to find a place to park.
I also hate going downtown. I know.
And especially if I'm just going to pick something up, like I'm just going to pick up a pizza and bring it home.
Right? Like the only time we are willing to do that is like when he can drive and drop me off to run in and pick it up. Like we order it ahead, and then he kind of circles around, and hopefully I'm there when it comes back around, or he has to go around again, because it's impossible to park. And then they've been doing construction on, is it Tejon? And it's been horrible getting to like the Indian place that we like down there.
I have not been to that place yet.
Oh, it's so good.
But I had lunch with Ray Ray.
Mm.
Oh, it's someplace downtown. I can't remember what it was called. Oh, it's fabulous. I loved it. I need to call him and see if he's available for lunch. Can we go back there? I don't remember where it is, but he's working back at the Antler. So I just swung in and picked him up, and he's like, turn here, park there. Okay.
All right. See, I will park miles away from where I need to be if I can find a parking place. That's convenient. My son won what is it? Is it a weekly drink? Like a year of a weekly drink at Mojo's Cafe downtown.
Oh my God. Well, I don't even know what Mojo's Cafe is. They had a really good chai something or other that I went and got, and it was, cause he was like, you guys want to try it? Because we went to the art supply place. That's Meiningers?
Yes. And then he wanted to go to that afterwards. So we all went there and got our chai and did a puzzle or whatever. And yeah, it's a neat place. And they have something where you can have your own mug, and they have these shelves right up there, and then your mug is there and you use it.
Like the mug club at breweries.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
So he has his mug for his weekly thing, and he goes in there and he chills and he gets his weekly.
Nice.
He doesn't drink coffee, so I was like, don't worry, they'll have tea, and they do. So
that would get me out of the house once a week.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would need that. And it would have to be that you're going to miss out on this free thing if you don't leave the house and just go get your drink.
Get the free thing. I'm not even sure I could get out every week for a free thing. At this point,
maybe.
I leave for physical therapy once a week for me, physical therapy every other week for the girl child, and then, But then at night is when I get restless and want to go places. I don't like going places during the day when it's all people-y.
I get that.
Yeah. I'm over it.
We're going to have monthly dinners now.
There we go.
So we can keep up. One dinner a month, we can make it. We can do this.
We can do this. Yes, I can.
And there are plenty of new places to go.
I know.
Or
Just
old
make it
places.
like a let's try a new place.
You've tried a lot of places I haven't tried, though. So
Well, you've also been places I haven't been, so it's fair.
true. I think we'll be able to figure something out.
I think it's fine. We went all the way to Rocky Bowl Bistro the other day for.
We went there right before
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I love that guy. He's so obnoxious. I love him.
So much energy.
He is in the right line of work.
Yes.
Exactly.
And his wife, who is much quieter, gets to stay back in the well, that sounded terrible, but back in the kitchen where she's happy.
Yes.
Because she's legit cooking the food, and then he's out there talking to everybody. And
Everybody. Long conversations. Fast paced.
fast paced, that's right. Sarcastic. And to an extent, like you and Jeff just, I'm just gonna, you guys go. I ran out of energy for this conversation 2 minutes ago.
I have a friend who I was like, oh my God, I wish I could bring them here because they would love the food. But oh my God, Margie would be like, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
And it's always, she's the person who always, if there's a group of us, the chatty waiter always zeroes in on her because she's just like, please don't.
Yeah. I know how that goes.
Yes.
Like, oh no. Oh no.
I like to act as the buffer in these situations.
That's right.
I'll step in and take the brunt of
Jeffrey tries to,
interaction.
but neither of us is super chatty. Like, so it's kind of funny, but he will, because once he noticed that like everybody talked to me when we were in public, and that I was all, and then I will turn on and I will talk to the person. He was like, okay, I can intervene, especially if he knows I'm super tired or like grouchy or just not in a good place. Then he's like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and engage them in conversation. Because I can humor somebody and talk to them for a really long time, it turns out.
If only I could hire myself out as a social buffer. Take me places. I will act as your social buffer. I will talk to people. I will make the chit chat. I will make the small talk.
Well, the thing is, and I like talking to people, like I like learning about people.
Yes.
So if I can steer it in that direction, and then because a lot of times they are just telling me shit about themselves. I don't even have to steer it. That's just what they do. And then I'm like, okay, why am I the person that everybody feels like they're gonna? But I can then I'll ask questions and do that. And I'm like, great, because people are fascinating. And if you're a writer and you're not fascinated by people, why are you a writer?
Here's the question I have though: how can you be a writer and say you don't read? I don't really
that
read.
one's always crazy.
That to me is a big red flag.
Yeah, and I feel like so many different types of writing groups on Facebook or whatever, and there's always the people that you can tell get frustrated that like everybody kind of accepts a thing as bad, like or whatever. So we all accept it's bad if you don't read, but you write, because then how the fuck do you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
And they'll insist, well, I know my book sells just fine. Okay. Well, I've read some really shitty books that sold just fine. So,
yep. Some of them get made into movies.
Yes, exactly. Not a guarantee of quality. And like AI bad, oh no, somebody went off in some huge rant at people. And just so you know, if I've trained the AI with my own writing, then it is my writing coming from the AI and blah, blah, blah.
It is not.
No, it's yours and everybody else's that it was trained with, you dipshit. But yeah.
I have an ongoing argument with a friend about using AI for writing. And I've let it go for a while, but I'm like, I'm just resting. I'm just catching my breath. I'm going to come back at it and go, no. It is not acceptable. Well, what if you're just using it to help you flesh out the outline?
Oh my gosh, I know. I've seen every
every
variation of it at this
permutation.
point. And I'm like, it's still not.
And the people who I'm probably going to piss somebody off. The people who are like, well, if you say, what genre is your book? And they're like, well, it's a new genre. It's not. It's not. They all exist. Really. But they're like, it's defies genre. And okay, well, who would you compare it to? Well, nobody's work compares to mine. I don't read other people because I just want to keep what I'm writing pure. I'm like, so you're going to go to, I don't know, an agent and say, please publish this. I don't know what it is, but maybe you will.
Yeah.
Or you're going to try to publish it yourself. Godspeed. That's viable, but you kind of have to know where to market it.
No. Oh, wait. Yes, you do. Yeah, that's the problem. The thing is, yeah, finding comparables can be hard because you haven't read that book and like, how do you know?
It's like if I want to write urban fantasy, which I do, I've read a lot of it. Now, have I read everything that came out this year? No, but I've read enough in the field to know what was going on. And if I want to get back into it, I know where to go and how to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That was a soapbox I did not expect to get on today.
You know, people.
Ugh.
In general. I know.
Yeah.
No, they've been driving me extra crazy lately. So
some of them, yeah. Some of them have been plucking at my nerves.
You know, we started here today like, what's new with you? For both of us.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's nothing new.
Nothing.
It's apparently that time of the year. I don't know.
I did want to, though. For a brief moment, I thought about wearing a cocktail dress today. Because I always used to say I was gonna dress up in a ball gown or cocktail dress, and instead I'm wearing skull printed sweats and a big red sweater.
And I'm wearing matching shirt and pants I got off Amazon because I was like, ooh, no need to make a decision or a choice.
You're actually very stylish in your athleisure wear.
My athleisure wear.
With the oversized cardi, cream-colored cardi.
You just made it all sound so much. Wow. Now
I love that
upscale.
cardigan. I can't wear that color.
Oh, the cream?
Yeah. It makes me look corpse-like.
Sallow.
Sallow.
Is that the correct
That
term?
would be
Sallow.
Washed out. Corpse-like was... Because we do talk a lot about dead people.
Yeah, I feel like once it hits this time of year, because of how early the sun sets, that I don't see the sun much for just so many months. My husband's like, you don't want to live in England because the sun will never be out. And I was like, I don't see the sun in winter anyway, so we can live England. I want to live in England in the summer and Mexico in the winter.
Sounds good to me.
I will see sun.
Yep.
I know. It was misleading because it was very sunny and nice weather when I was in the UK. I think I saw rain twice.
Wow.
I never saw a deep fog, which depressed me because I really wanted to see. I love a fog.
Mm-hmm.
And Colorado is not the place to be if you love fog.
No.
I'm from Oregon. Fog. But UK, I didn't see any fog. I would love to see Edinburgh at night with fog.
Yes. Lots of fog in West Virginia. I did get to see.
Yeah, Maryland had fog. It's not like Oregon level.
There's no moisture here.
Humidity.
Where would the fog come
No,
from?
Maryland wasn't Oregon level fog.
Yes. Oh.
It was like, I don't know. But yeah.
We should ask Cody, the weather dude on Facebook.
Oh, I was like, Cody. Do I know a Cody?
No. But I don't either. But that sounds like something someone would ask him. Hey, why don't we get enough fog here? I have a friend who lives in, let me think, where does she live? Not Monument, but Palmer Lake.
Mm.
And almost every time I have had to drive to her house, we were in a book group together, so it was maybe twice a year. There was one spot where there was always mist going across the road. I mean, the whole state, there's no fog, but on the road to her house, you'd get a little.
There's a random spot over here in Ute Valley Park. But a spot in that park that gets fog sometimes. You walk, also, it's colder when you walk through it. All year. Colder when you walk through it. It's bizarre. You do the late night walk and it's very cold all of a sudden. And then it gets a little warmer again. So the girl child is still learning to drive and her car was out of commission for a while. So we had to get back to it so that we can get her in the class and get her license and stuff. But boy child comes bursting into the house late one night. I think it was 1 a.m. And he's like, there's thick fog outside. I'm going to go get Savannah because she needs to drive in this to practice.
Was she asleep?
So, no.
Oh, okay.
My children don't. They're kind of on my schedule, which is terrible. It was like, you don't understand. I earned being able to finally live on this schedule.
Yes.
I didn't get to do it when I was your age. I was working. But anyway, so sure enough, she comes upstairs. And so 2 of us are in basically pajamas going to, and we go hop in the car. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll drive around and past the Garden of the Gods and go up here and see where we can find the fog. And then we'll go to Circle K and get treats or something and then come home. So we went out and we drove for close to an hour.
Oh, nice.
But it's funny because, of course, there's fog. And then you drive right out of the fog and there's no fog. And then we were above the fog.
Yep.
And so we were trying to get back down into the fog. And, of course, Girl Child is like, I'm going to play the, no. What is it? It's like it's a horror video game series that got made into a movie. But it was based off of that town that the smoke is constantly coming up. Silent Hill.
Oh.
So she's got the Silent Hill soundtrack in her car.
Oh.
And so she puts that in to drive around through the fog. So we had it atmospheric.
It was the total experience.
It was like, and that is how I get dragged off of the warm sofa.
See, you do leave the house.
In the middle of the night.
It takes fog and a good soundtrack to get you out of the house.
Promise of a snack.
Yeah, that would help too.
Yeah. I wish that. But anyway, yeah, that's about all the excitement that's happened. Thanksgiving, did you do anything?
I had dinner. I just had thing 1 home. So, I mean.
Yeah, we did like a little thing here. And then we stopped by my mother's house to see all but one of my siblings who had been there earlier. But he had his own thing going on too. So then my sister came back and had beers afterwards with her fiance. So
good.
That was nice. Yeah. I'm glad to be past that part of the year. Now I'll just get past Christmas and I'll be fine.
Yep. I'm not feeling particularly holly jolly this year.
I am always depressed starting about a week or 2 before my birthday and then, I don't know, going somewhere and like January just sucks. It's just a deep, dark pit here.
I used to save up all my depression for February and be pretty much depressed the entire fucking month.
Yeah.
I hated February. February is not so bad now. I've managed to even it out and spread out shallower depression throughout the year.
I think February I start coming out of it, and then like March we actually get like random, like,
spring weather.
Yes, and like
we also
super
get
nice
snow, but
because I have pictures of us hiking, like taking the kids on a hike in their backpack and stuff in March. Probably, I think it was like March 12th or something like that, and we're all in shorts, including the littles. So it was nice as hell that day. It's just blue skies everywhere. So once that shit starts coming back around.
Halloween and Easter.
Yeah.
You never know. You could have 80 degrees and sunny or snow on both days.
Mm-hmm.
And it's insane.
Yeah, we've been really spoiled. It's been really nice on Halloween for years now. And I always expect, well, aren't we going to have another of the big Halloween storms?
Yeah.
No, not yet. Who knows? But yeah, Easter I expect to be nastier, usually.
We've had Easter egg hunts in the snow, and the next year we were putting on sunscreen.
Yeah, we got snow really late here this year.
Did we? I don't remember.
It was like last week that we got an actual snowstorm.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, usually we start in September.
Because Wednesday? It was Tuesday night into Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yes. I just had to rearrange some things.
Luckily, we don't have a kid in school anymore, so we don't have to deal with that. And then the spouse was like, schools are closed. I'm not going to work. I will work remotely.
I just looked out the window. Oh, I'm not going anywhere.
Right? I mean, I look forward to my first wearing of my mucklucks each year, and I didn't actually have to wear them anywhere. But there will be more.
Yes.
It's fine. Okay. Oh, so you've been watching Ted Lasso. Or you watched
I
Ted
watched
Lasso.
Ted
I just
Lasso.
started watching Ted Lasso. I'm fascinated by the lady who plays the boss.
Yes. I love her. I adore her.
I think, what was it? I told my husband, I was like, I think that she's the definition of what we consider statuesque.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like, I've always had that in my head, right, from books. But, like, that was the first time I went, oh, that is statuesque. And we were trying to figure out what we knew her from, and then we're looking up and we're like, oh, she's been all over the place.
She has been.
But yeah, she's just,
Okay.
she's tall and stunning and
not skinny.
right.
I mean, she's not a big woman.
Right.
but-
Like he brought up the hourglass chick from the Lansdale show.
Yes.
And Mad Men.
Yes.
I can't remember her name now.
She's redhead. I can't remember
But yeah,
her name.
same sort of thing, right? Because they're not skinny. I almost said scrawny. And listen, I heard enough nasty things when I was skinny myself. So, but you know, it's not underweight. But they just have a certain like dominant presence as well.
Yes.
It's not just what they are physically, right? So yeah, same sort of thing.
Hannah. The one on Ted Lasso, her name is Hannah.
And so she sang in the show. And so I looked her up and her parents were like opera singer or her mom and her grandma or something were opera singers. And I was like, well, shit.
She can act, she can sing, and she's funny.
Yeah. She was on Game of Thrones and it took a hot second. Then I was like, oh yeah, the shame lady. Shame. Shame. I know you didn't, but people listening who watched it know exactly who I'm talking about. The shame nun or whatever.
And the other tall blonde woman was on that show. Was on Game of Thrones. She's in Wednesday as the principal.
Yes.
I can't remember
She's
her name
also
either.
probably statuesque. A little less stunning than...
She's not as curvy.
Yeah. Yeah. She's slightly like she's there, but she's not quite there just in general. Just
yes,
overall.
I think she's taller.
Yeah.
She's taller and more, just not as curvy of a build.
Yeah. So... That's interesting, though. They were like, all right, some Game of Thrones had some types.
Yeah. yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So there's a new show that has started with Gillian Anderson.
Oh, the Western.
Yes.
And Lena
Yes.
Headley?
No. Yes. No. I don't remember, but the one from Game of Thrones also.
Oh.
That's why I thought of it.
Oh.
So I'm looking forward to that one because like there's supposed to be two powerhouse women in the Wild West or whatever. I'm like, let's do this.
Tell me if that's any good because if you don't tell me it's good, I'm not going to watch it.
Okay.
Because I'm like, it's a Western. I'm not.
Well, see, and I do like Western.
That one just didn't draw me. But if somebody told me it was good, I would watch it. But if somebody had told me, I never would have watched Somebody Somewhere. Did you see that series? I think it was just 3 seasons. It won a bunch of awards, the last one. It's absolutely, it's set in Manhattan, Kansas, and it's this woman and her best friend, and it's just their lives.
Huh.
And it's not any big explosive. It's not futuristic. It's not science fiction. It's not fantasy. It's just their lives. It's a very small show, but it touches on so many things. And the last season it starts out very depressing because things are just going to shit for everybody in different ways. And but it's just, God, it's such a good. But if somebody hadn't said to me, you need to watch this, you will like it, I never would have. So,
okay.
Sometimes I have to be led to things.
Right. Usually my thing is if it gets pushed on me enough on streaming and it's old and it's all the seasons are on there, then I'll go, fine, I'll watch one episode. And then either it sucks me in or it doesn't suck me in.
Yep.
But I do find things. I mean, that's why I watch Desperate Housewives. That's why I watch Lost. That's why I watch Nurse Jackie.
What's the one with Timothy Oliphant? Where he's a sheriff or a Texas Ranger or something.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it his name or something like his character's name?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Starts with a D.
But that one, I started watching that one and I kind of liked it, but not enough to keep going.
That was my thing. We tried it too. And we were like, yeah, okay, this is good. But like, we never think, let's go back and watch that.
Yeah.
I also tried Luther. I thought I would like that with Idris Elba. And again, it was good, but like I've never wandered back and watched it.
I've got so many things I start watching.
Like as writers, we're supposed to be evaluating, okay, why doesn't it draw us back in? Even though we're like, yeah, this is good.
It's good. It's fun. And yet I will watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer on repeat. I was watching it while I was working on this week's episode.
Yeah. So the moment of realization in Ted Lasso at who the ex was of Miss Statuesque.
I had to stop. I was watching it with Frida. I had to stop the VCR, the player, the TV. I just stop it and look at her and I said, I have to freak out for a minute. You don't understand. We hate this character. He's despicable. Got it. I'm totally on board. But that's Rupert Giles.
Right.
No.
Right.
And she's looking at me like, what is wrong with you? I said, he was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I said, he's her watcher. He's this father figure. He's all these great and wonderful and things. And I go, and he just sucks donkey dongs.
He's really evil.
He is. He's awful. And
It's
he's
all
malicious.
unnecessary. I'm like, you won, dude. You won. You had already won when the show started.
Yes.
Why do we have to keep being awful? You won.
Oh, he just keeps getting worse.
Ah! No, yeah. But
That's all I'm
I
gonna
was
say.
like, no.
I know, I did. I had to stop the playback and freak out and then said, okay, I got it out of my system now. Give me a beer. I'm ready to go.
Right? Girl child came upstairs and I was like, do you recognize? Because she watched Buffy repeatedly.
Yes.
And that's where she even discovered like a lot of the music she listens to now and stuff. So yeah, she was like, oh, he's terrible. Yeah.
And yet he has gone on to play other roles and do them well. Yeah. Some people get typecast and you can't ever see them as anyone else, but not him. He also played Frankenfurter, didn't he? I think he was in a version of Rocky Horror.
I don't know, but I got on the 50 Years of Rocky Horror panel at Cosign, so it'll be fun.
That will be fun.
I really considered dressing up as Magenta, like doing the full thing. I've always wanted to dress up like Magenta, but I was looking at the costume and like, it's a little pricey at the different costume because you got to have the correct maid uniform. Yes. You can't use any maid uniform because hers is distinctive. And they're like, cool, we will charge you $60 for that alone. Then you still need a wig. I mean, I could do my hair curly, but it'll be blue.
Yeah.
I can do natural curl. But it's still in there. But I also have my sweatshirt with like the lips on it. And I found some earrings that are the lips. And I was like, okay, if I don't dress up for this.
And you don't know, do you know yet who else will be on the panel with you?
Yes, I've checked all of I put 3 different places when I filled out the thing who I would not be on a panel.
Yes. But is anybody fun on that panel with you or?
No, I don't know. Nobody I know.
Okay. That's actually, I meant, I should
terrible.
have said
no, there's nobody fun, but no, there's nobody I know on it with me. So we'll see. But I figure if they said they were interested, we'll probably get along fine.
When is Cosign this year?
January 23rd, I think is the Friday.
Huh.
Yeah.
I haven't been to that in a while.
Yeah. I'm getting a hotel room and then
nice.
Joffrey will come out and do the staycation like he did for my icon. Yeah. Anything to get us just somewhere, just different.
Just some time together.
Yeah. We thought about going to Mexico, but we were like, we're not making plans till we do our taxes.
Yep.
So not going to happen then, but we're hoping to go. I'm hoping to take him to Whitby, England.
Ooh, nice.
Because I fell in love with that little town and he's perfectly happy to go to a little harbor town with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And have the best fish and chips in the whole entire world.
Well, yeah. Who wouldn't be happy with that?
Right. And mushy peas. Now that once I tasted that, because I was like, mushy peas sounds like a fucking nightmare to me. And so when we went to it was like the Madrigal Inn or something. I don't remember the name. It was like a bird. But the restaurant we went to there, and they were like, yeah, you can also add mushy peas or whatever. And I was like, fuck no. But then I was finally like, I should try them. And we got, it's like a mixed seafood thing in Edinburgh. And had mushy peas. And that's why I discovered there was mint in them. And I was like, oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, because I don't like peas.
Thing too, when she comes home, makes mushy peas for me.
They're really good.
They are. They're fucking delightful.
I'm still shocked by it. Listen, I don't like peas.
I love peas. So it was an easy sell for me, but I was just like, what is this? This is like...
Listen, I'm still traumatized remembering going to camp the one time I went to camp, which when I looked at the little certificate was a Bible camp. I don't even remember the Bible camp. But anyway, I have been to Bible camp. But when they sat in front of us, split pea soup for the meal one day, I was like, nope. And then I think I cried, and they made me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I was like, I am not eating this. What is this? And they were like, at least take a bite. I took a bite, and I was like, I am really not eating this now.
I remember being in school, and the side dish for the school lunch was Harvard beets. There are a lot of things you can do to a beet that I enjoy. That is not one, or at least the institutional version is not something I enjoy.
See, now I've only had beets one time where I didn't mind them because I'm one of those people. I'm just like, this tastes like I have a mouthful of dirt.
Yep, I get that.
But they were pickled. They were at Edelweiss. They were at a German restaurant, and they were like pickled. And I was like, okay.
Oh, pickled beets are delightful. Pickled anything is delightful.
Yeah. Any other time I've had them, I'm like, this makes my soul sad. Much like split pea soup. But why would you feed a bunch of little kids split pea soup?
Because it's cheap.
I would have eaten tomato soup.
Yes.
Like,
I don't know.
Peas are evil. But mushy peas, delightful.
Peas are not evil.
They make my soul sad. So.
Fine. They make mine happy.
Like there's that pop of sweet, and then like something else follows it. And then once the sweet is gone and the something else follows it, I'm like, no.
But my friend Amy also does not like peas, and she thinks they're deceptive. She says they look so bright and shiny and fun, and then you get them in your mouth, and they're just bleh.
And they're just sadness and on your tongue. Unacceptable.
What? No. I was going to say, never mind.
Sadness on your tongue?
Yes.
Were you going to make that dirty?
I was.
Sadness?
I was going to say, I'm sure you've had sadder things on your tongue.
Not sexually.
Would you please start your section, your piece, so I can stop my mind from going down this path? And I don't want to say things that are going to incriminate me. I don't care if I incriminate you. I am throwing you under the bus. Patoing.
Patoing clunk. Okay. I am doing, for my final piece, two survival stories. See, so I could be mean. I could be like, I'm not going to tell you these are survivor stories because I am going to warn you right now. They are fucking horrifying until you get to the surviving part. Okay. These are the stories of Alison, Botha, and Mary Vincent. So first, Mary Vincent. She was a 15-year-old girl living in Las Vegas in 1978. Her home life was a mess, as it often is, right? And so she ran away. And she lived on the street for a while. She would crawl into unlocked cars when she and in 78, that's not that hard to find unlocked cars, right? I mean,
she could probably find
unlocked cars.
She could probably find unlocked houses in 78.
Yes. And then she also did some couch surfing with friends and relatives and stuff like that. Eventually, she worked her way to Berkeley, which is where her grandfather lived. She stayed with him for a bit, and then she decided that she was homesick and she did actually want to go home.
Okay.
So she starts hitchhiking her way back home.
Oh.
And a man named Lawrence Singleton picked her up in his blue van. So, the van, it's okay. She was standing with a couple other hitchhikers when he came along, and he said, oh, no, I only have room for one person.
In his van.
And the other two said, do not get in that car. Like they straight up said, do not get into his car. This is not safe. Him not letting other people in there. Like, so be it. But he has room for more than one person. Mm-hmm. And she was so exhausted. It just been like, she was just exhausted. And so she said, fuck it, I'm going. And she fell asleep. And when she woke up, he had gone the opposite way of where he was supposed to be taking her. She saw a sign and she realized. Then he turned onto a deserted road and he pulled over. She got out of the car, prepared to run, because he was like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. So he's going, he acts like he's going to relieve himself. And she realized her shoes were untied. And she said, oh, I'm going to trip and fall if I try and run. So I'm going to really quickly, I'm going to tie my shoes. But of course, he wasn't going to relieve himself. So he came around and he had a sledgehammer.
Oh, Jesus.
So she was bent over and he just slammed her in the head, knocked her out, undressed her and bound her, then waited for her to become conscious again. And when she did, that is when he raped her repeatedly over and over and over for hours. What blows my mind is these types of perverts can often do this, like just again and again and again. Because of course that's what they're getting off on. But you know, she begged him to let her go. And, you know, she did all the things like say my name and all this to humanize herself. And she just begged and she cried. And finally, early in the morning, he says, you want to be set free? I'll set you free. And that's when he grabbed a hatchet from the back of the van and he started chopping at her arms. So they're fighting. They're standing up and he's chopping at her and she's trying to grab him and trying to block these blows. And it's just below her elbow. It took 3 chops to take off her first arm, but she fought so hard with the second one that it took more, and he just keeps chopping at her and chopping at her. And she had grabbed his forearm and was holding it with that hand that he was chopping at. And once it was severed, it stayed stuck to him because she had been so tightly clenching his arm because she sees him and he's shaking his arm and she can't figure out what the hell he's doing. And then she sees her own arm hanging off of it until he could get it off of him. And then he grabbed her and she's just bleeding copiously and her arms are severed below the elbows, and he threw her off of a 30-foot cliff. Then he climbed down the fucking cliff. I guess he didn't like where she landed, stuck her in a culvert so her body would be hidden because he just figures she's going to bleed out. She's not going anywhere. And then he takes off because she's as good as dead. But she had a hell of a will to live.
Yeah, she did.
And the thought that kept her going, I actually listened to her I Survived story. So her telling the story herself of both of these victims, I heard tell it on their own in different ways. But she was ready to die, and then she thought, he's going to do this to somebody else, and I cannot be the reason he does this to somebody else. So she waited a while because she was afraid he was coming back or that he was waiting up there and would see her. Like, she never heard that the engine or it leaving. She's 30 feet down in a culvert, you know. So she waited, and finally she said, okay, I can't wait any longer. And she was able to she was sticking her stumps in the dirt, basically, and the blood made this mud, and that packed her wounds. This is why she survived, is that it
Who the hell would think to do that? I mean, that's incredible.
But yeah, it sealed them.
Wow.
And slowed the bleeding. She crawled up that embankment, and she just started walking. I mean, she's tired. She's out of it. She has lost a shit ton of blood, and she just starts walking. And she held her arms up because she remembered like first aid stuff where they said, you elevate the wound so that it above the heart, so it slows the bleed. So she's walking with her stumps up in the air.
Oh my God.
Just walking along the road. She ended up walking nearly 4 miles.
My God.
She did find a road, and she tried to flag down a car. And the first car had 2 men in it, and they sped up by and around her like without stopping. Ugh. But then a young couple who was on their honeymoon saw her, and they pulled over to help her. So when she got to the hospital, she had lost over half of her blood.
Oh, my God.
And she had 4 broken ribs from the fall down into the culvert, and we know the other wounds. She was able to give the man's description to a sketch artist, and Singleton was tracked down and arrested pretty quickly. So that's impressive.
That is.
He was a husband and a father, as so many of them are.
Oh, jeez.
He claimed, fucking gaslighting douchebag, she was a prostitute and on drugs, and that she tried to attack him. So Mary faced him in court. She already had prostheses on her arms by the time they were in court. And as she walked past him after testifying, he quietly told her he'd finish the job even if it took the rest of his life.
That's insane.
He was sentenced to 14 years.
14?
Which was the highest sentence for his crimes of attempted murder, aggravated mayhem, multiple counts of rape, including forced oral copulation and sodomy, and kidnapping at the time. The judge expressed dismay that he could not give him a greater sentence. He gave him the maximum he could at the time. That was the California law. I mean, we've heard that one because California had so many serial killers over and over and over again. So anyway, they released him after 8 years. 1987, good behavior, of course.
Of course.
Fucking, I will stab somebody if I hear good behavior in the wrong circumstance at this point. Just makes me want to stab somebody in the face. She had also won a civil case against him, but of course never received a dime of the money that she'd been awarded. The people of California were not okay with him getting out. He was moved by authorities multiple times, spending his first year living in a trailer on San Quentin grounds, because every time they moved him, protesters showed up.
Good.
Like, they fucking tracked where this bag of dicks went, and they showed up because they were like, because what he had done to her was so horrific, right? They were like, no. This guy isn't going to get better. The outcry at his release led to the passage of the Singleton Bill that same year, which mandated a minimum of 25 years for a crime involving any form of torture.
Good.
After his parole was up, he moved back to Florida, where he was convicted for several minor theft crimes. But then on February 19th, 1997, because she was right, the reason that she survived to go against him, she was right, a house painter called police saying Singleton was assaulting a naked woman in his house. When police arrived, 31-year-old Roxanne Hayes was dead, stabbed 7 times. She was a mother of 3 and a sex worker. He'd hired her for oral sex, he said, for $20. He and his lawyers made absurd claims stating that she had lunged for his wallet after he paid her, and she had grabbed a nearby knife when he stopped her from taking his wallet. They'd struggled for the knife, and she had accidentally stabbed herself 7 times during the struggle. Is this Chicago?
No.
The stab wounds were in her face, torso, and abdomen.
No.
He claimed he had tried to help her to the door to get to a hospital. Like, I read his whole thing, and it was just, he was like, oh, and I comforted her, and I did this. Anyway, but they had collapsed because his knee gave out because he just didn't have the strength to get her to the door. He also claimed she had asked him to hold her, and he had held her while she died. And I'm like, I hope to God not. Because Mary traveled to Florida to testify against him.
Good.
Like, this is a determined woman. He received a death sentence for his crime this time, the jury deliberating for less than 4 hours, but the little shit died of cancer in 2001.
That's too bad.
He was a merchant seaman stationed in Korea, which makes me wonder what crimes he committed outside the U.S.
Yes.
Nobody said anything about it. I did not see anything about it, but I was like, come on.
Did they look?
She was not his first.
No.
There's no fucking way. Back to Mary. She has become a successful artist and is a wife and mother. Her art is positive and reflects power for women. That is what she paints about. She makes her own prostheses for different things, including one for bowling, for example, that she...
Oh, wow.
Yep. While her friends and family at the time couldn't handle what she'd gone through, she found a new mother in her ex-husband's mom, who even now supports her, as well as new friends. She speaks occasionally about how she survived in order to help others. It would be a lie to say she does not struggle to this day. Like, I would love to end it glowy, but she struggles. But she has turned that into... Yeah.
Wow.
Now we're going to talk about Alison Botha. And this one I watched. There's an excellent documentary on Prime. I think it's just called Alison. It is so well done, and it will just break your heart. But it's beautifully done. So she was a 27-year-old living in Port Elizabeth, South Africa, when on December 18th, 1994, she experienced a horrific attack. Most would not have survived. Like, it's a lot. But she did. She had just dropped a friend off at home after a night out, but when she returned home, her usual parking spot had been taken, and she had a ways away from her place. She was a ways away.
I think I've heard about this case.
Probably, yeah. And so she found another spot, but an armed man got into the car and told her he needed to use the car. Again, it's in the 90s. Her car wasn't locked. He drove, and he picked up another guy. Well, the first one had seemed friendly for an armed carjacker. Like, he kept chatting with her and which Also, that would make me want to stab somebody in the face. Like, don't pretend that you're a good person. That's the worst.
You don't like anybody chatting with you.
I don't really want to stab them in the face, though.
No.
He said he didn't want to hurt her. He just needed her car, yada, yada, yada. The new guy was frightening from the beginning. He just sat in the back and just like glared at her in the mirror, and he was just creepy. They drove to a sandy out of the way area near the beach where the second man got out and the first one made her perform oral sex on him. He then did the same to her. He gave her oral sex because I think he had himself convinced that this was like a mutual thing.
Yeah.
Before forcing her into the back and raping her. He spoke to her the entire fucking time, which, like, shh, don't speak. Asking about a boyfriend. And if the boyfriend did stuff, he'd do something and say, does your boyfriend do this to you? Like that was, when he was done, he asked the scarier guy if he wanted his turn. So one thing that stood out to me was the first guy that he spoke politely throughout the whole thing. He called it making love, which again, stabby. The second guy was harsh from the beginning, calling her a bitch, using fuck as so there's the difference in their vocabulary, right? The second man slit her throat. He then stabbed her repeatedly, only to be replaced by the formerly nice guy, in quotes, who also violently stabbed her over and over. And I believe they tried multiple times to slit her throat, right? Like, I keep hearing this. I'm like, it's amazing that you could survive a slit throat. But I've now heard multiple stories of women surviving slit throats. But anyway, they stabbed her over and over. Then they left her in the sand and drove away, once again thinking, we slit her throat, she's going to die. She could hear the air whistling out of her throat as she struggled to breathe. The men had used each other's first names. Because, of course, they planned to kill her from the beginning, right? That's what that means. So their names were Franz and Tiens. So as she lay there expecting to die, she wrote their names in the sand, determined that her rapists and killers would be caught so they would never do this to anyone else. I've heard this from female victims so many times. This is going to happen to somebody else. How do I keep this from happening to somebody else? So she wrote, I love mom, also in the sand. As she shifted, she felt something wet on her legs, and looking down, she saw that her intestines were hanging out and were puddled in her lap. The men had thrown her clothes out, and she was able to grab her shirt and use it to hold in her intestines so she could stand up. She had become determined to survive in order to not put her mom through finding out she was dead. Like, she was laying here for a while.
She stuffed her intestines back in her body.
She didn't stuff them back in. She just held them up, kind of like hammocked them.
But still.
Yes.
She's holding her intestines. I told you this was,
but here's the thing. It gets worse.
Oh.
So she stands up, right?
Yep.
And she said, all I saw was the sky. Well, her head she couldn't hold her head up, and her head had flopped over.
Yes, I have heard this.
Yep.
Oh my God.
So the muscles had been severed, so she could not lift her head. So she has one hand holding her intestines and her shirt, and she has the other. She grabs her hair and she brings her head up and she starts fucking walking.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She doesn't remember the walk, but she made her way to a road, and that's where she fell onto the pavement and just could not get back up. A car drove up, and in the documentary, she said she realized, holy shit, that could be them coming back.
Yeah.
And she realized there's nothing I can do. If that's them, then this is it. Like, I've done what I can. This is it. The car paused, sat there for a moment like they were looking at her, then fucking drove around her and away. Again, the number of times I hear in these stories multiple cars often drove past without helping some bloody naked woman. And I get it's scary, it's terrifying. You have no idea what you will do in that situation in the middle of nowhere.
Yes. But especially
part of me gets it, but part of me that just makes me so upset.
If there are two of you in the car, you stop. If you're all
right, you have backup.
Yeah.
So then another car drove up, and this time it was full of male students on holiday. They stopped, and 20-year-old Tien Eilerd rushed to her, tearing his shirt off to put it over her as she was completely nude, right? Luckily, as they weren't near any homes or businesses, one of the guys had a cell phone, which was new tech at the time, but he had it for some reason. And Now, that was new tech everywhere, but it was rarer in South Africa, right? Many didn't even have landline phones in their homes in the area where they were. According to some posts online where they were like, hey, I'm from that area. We didn't have landlines. Like,
wow.
It took over 40 minutes for help to arrive. And he stayed there holding her hand the entire time and talking to her. He never let go. He got into the ambulance. Like when they loaded her, he still had her hand the whole time. So then he said they got to the emergency room. They told him he had to let go, right? So he waited. And so she calls him her white knight. And because of the experience, I forget what his original major was, but he changed his major and he became a doctor.
Oh, wow.
Because of this experience. And so then she decides, I can't let him down. So I have to live, right? Like,
oh my God.
The doctor who initially worked on her said her throat had been slit ear to ear with her trachea completely severed. She was breathing through the wound.
Oh my God.
She had been stabbed over 37 times in the chest and abdomen. Because of where her body had been dumped, her intestines were coated with sand, and there were bits of charcoal and what the doctor thought was lamb tallow or something like that they had been barbecuing.
Ugh.
Her uterus had been severely damaged, and it was expected she'd never be able to have children. He called in a general surgeon who was also trained as an ENT surgeon. He had to scrub her intestines. He painstakingly sat here, this ENT surgeon and general surgeon, cleaning her intestines to try and get as much of that sand and stuff out as possible before carefully placing them back in.
Oh my God.
An officer named Melvin Humpel came in that morning. He brought a folder with photos, which she went through, and she was able to point out Franz de Twee and Tiens Kruger, also writing their names because they were like, we need more. And so she wrote their names. The main investigating constable was familiar with de Twee, who had been arrested previously for rape. He stated to the doctor that the case would be stronger if she could say their names verbally. The doctor was horrified. Her trachea is severed. She's on a breathing apparatus with a tube down her throat. But he explained to her what the police wanted and what would have to happen for her to try to speak. And she said, do it.
Ugh.
And they got the tubes out. And she said their names.
Right.
The men were easy to find. They had raped 2 women together previous to Alison. They had threatened to kill them if they told, but both eventually did go to the police. With Alison, they had decided in advance they would kill their next victim, so she couldn't go to the police.
Lovely.
That's often what you see with serial rapists, is they go, oh, well, I can't let them go to the police anymore. When Humpel told them they were being charged with attempted murder, meaning their victim was alive, they knew they were sunk. He was like, ooh, that felt good. Attempted murder. And they were like, sorry, what?
Yeah.
As an aside on how callous they were, the men had used the bloody knife at breakfast the next morning. At the time, to identify their attackers, a victim was required to walk up to the lineup and put their hand on their shoulder. How fucking awful is that? Yeah.
That's
in
barbaric.
South Africa, that's what they were making them do. They would then be photographed that way to prove they had identified the attacker. Humpel refused to make her do that. This
good
cop. And I don't believe he was the one who said she had to say the names out loud either, because he was like, I am not putting her through this bullshit. He instituted the method of identifying a lineup through one-way glass, and that's what they continued doing after that. So, but it was not happening in that part of South Africa, I should say, at the time. Franz de Twee tried a variety of things to get out of trouble. He stared down the judge, claimed to be a Satanist, asked for a pastor to provide an exorcism, and tried to act like he was possessed. Oh. It didn't work.
Good grief.
Humpel never handcuffed the men when taking them to court. He told them he wanted them to run because he would shoot them. He said, I want nothing more than to shoot you, so I'm not going to handcuff you. And he did that every single day. He was like, wow, run, motherfuckers. They did not. They did not ever run. They were ultimately both sentenced to life in prison. Franz's father committed suicide, horrified at what his son had done. But that wasn't the end of the story. In July 2023, de Twee and Kruger were granted parole without her being notified.
Why?
She learned of it from the news. Well, they were very, archaic in this area. The whole walk up to the...
Yeah. Okay.
Many people spoke out about it, like just like with Mary, right? They were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And in February 2025, the Minister of Correctional Services canceled the parole and the men were brought back into custody, put back in prison. Yeah.
Good.
After pulling herself out of a deep depression where she was entirely numb for a really long time, she started giving talks about her survival and how to overcome obstacles. She found that she loved being able to do that. And she's now won multiple awards and honors, written a book entitled I Have Life, and has a documentary on Prime called Alison. She was able to get pregnant twice and carry her pregnancies to term.
Nice.
Tian was the assistant doctor at the birth of her second child.
Aww.
Isn't it sweet?
Wow.
So, both of these women, in telling their stories, said they had to survive so the predators could not do it to anyone else. I just want to keep saying that. It's very selfless. It wasn't like, I can't die because I have yet to try lamb pops.
What?
Like, so they're not like, oh, I wanted to live because I had not been to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Sometimes you hear, oh, okay. They survived to protect others, and I wonder how often that's the case.
Yeah, I do wonder.
And what the gender lines are.
I bet I know what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So my sources were People, Wikipedia, Open Ceilings Magazine, CBS News, The Netline, Nelson Mandela University, Parliamentary Monitoring Group, South African Government Site, and the documentary Alison and I Survived, the podcast, which is also a show. All right.
Okay, so most people who listen to us know that we don't discuss our topics with each other ahead of time.
Right.
I mean, in the, what do we decide, 5 years? I'm going with 5. I don't care. I think this is the first time we've ever done it. And because you had told me that you were doing these 2 survivor stories. You told me last month. So I decided, because you were doing something that was so graphic and kind of awful, that I would do my usual brand of random bullshit to end it on a lighter note. Although I do have a survivor story or 2 in here as well. Some of these I've been wanting to talk about for a while, because sometimes I just like holding up the absurd for everybody to see, to know that it exists. So the first one, and I get a lot of ideas for my true crime a day calendar. Although really, how they define true crime is a question to me. So Vera Renzi caught my eye earlier this year, and I kept the pages. There were 2 aspects of it that grabbed me. One, I love an insane turn-of-the-century poisoner based in Eastern Europe, the Balkans. Mm-hmm. And 2, her last name reminded me of a guy I knew in college who was a total tool. And I knew him because I typed papers for beer money. And so I typed a lot of his papers on a typewriter. It was a thing back then. We did not have personal computers, so you could earn, money by typing people's papers. This was a frat guy. He was a Beta Theta Pi. I do know a nasty song about Beta Theta Pi's, but I'll spare you all and not sing it for you. But he would, if he came to my dorm room to pick up his paper and I wasn't there, he would try to con it out of my roommates without paying for it. Mm-hmm. Of course, my roommates, being intelligent women, were always like, fuck off.
They're like, we're going out for beers with her on the money that you're paying her.
So yeah, we're not, no. They absolutely never fell for it. And he just oozed sleazy. So, and his name was Vince Renzi. So that name just, anyway.
Yeah.
So back to Vera. There are some doubts as to the veracity of the tale. So that's why I would have gone into the whole research and where she grew up, but they can't even agree on what year she was born and what year she got married. But she made headlines around the world in 1925 when a journalist with 0 verification, it was one of those, well, I heard, I was told, reported that police had found 35, that's a lot, 35 zinc-lined coffins in a circular basement under her home. In the center of the circle was a red armchair, a large candle, and an empty bottle of champagne.
She's like, I just like to sit with my corpses.
Yes. She originally told police that the coffins held her family members and that she liked to keep company with them. She liked to honor them by having a little candlelight and a little champagne with the dead people. But police discovered that who was actually in the coffins was 2 husbands, many lovers, and her son, who she had killed out of fear that he would report her to the police after discovering the caskets. So this was this huge that a man would become involved with her, and after months or weeks or even just days, he would disappear. I think if 35 men disappeared from your village,
I was going to
or
say,
your
like,
city,
how big a village in that time period could it be?
Yes,
that 35 dudes could just disappear.
And they'd all been seen in her company. But I love the fact that there's even a supposed quote from her after she was caught. I put them out of the way because I was jealous that when they had tired of my love, they would desert me for another woman. But I'm like, but you killed them before they could leave you.
Right.
So it was sensational. And if you go online and try to look her up, which I encourage you to do if you're so inclined, but it's all the same verbiage. It's the exact same story everywhere.
Yeah.
And nobody goes beyond the story. It's like, well, what's the supporting, where's the supporting documents? Yeah. Where did she live? Where did she grow up? Where was she born? Nothing.
Yeah.
So, but I just love that. Like she's sitting in a room of 35 coffins having a drink. And it was champagne.
It was quiet.
As a mom, I can relate.
Right.
So, all right. That was item 1 of random bullshit. I captured my interest. So, back in 2022, I heard this rumor that Brazil's most notorious serial killer was now a YouTube star. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
He was, his name was Pedro Rodriguez Filho. It's Filho. I have no idea how Brazilians would pronounce that. He was convicted of 41 murders and imprisoned in 1973 at the age of 19. Wow. So apparently he had committed all these murders between the ages of 14 and 19. Okay. That's a lot of people to kill over a lifetime, much less in a tiny little 4 or 5 year span. He claimed to have killed closer to 100 people as a vigilante, with most of his victims, including his own father, being drug dealers, rapists, and murderers. So he was released. I wasn't clear why, but he was released in 2007. I'm guessing good behavior. Re-imprisoned in 2011, and then released again in 2018. And that one was based, I know for a fact, that one was based on good behavior. So I was just like, but okay, what happened? What?
I think if rape or murder are involved, there should be no good behavior clause. There are a lot of things I understand good behavior for, but then my problem is I go to women who kill their abuser.
Yes.
And that's the problem with figuring out these laws. But then it always has to be left up to the determination of a judge.
Yes.
And that judge may be a simpleton piece of shit.
Yep. Yeah. Some of them are. The one thing I didn't know until I started searching this, Padrino Matador, or ex-Matador, which was PD the murderer, right, was one of author Jeff Lindsay's inspirations for the character of Dexter. Killing the evil, killing the wicked, killing the people who needed to be killed. I don't know that anybody needs to be, but yeah. His YouTube channel is very anti-crime. It warns kids against drugs and the criminal lifestyle. His messaging included urging young people to respect their elders, keep their skateboards off the sidewalks, and to be honest with their parents. In 2023, he was killed in what was described as a drive-by shooting and stabbing by unknown assailants. And I don't think drive-by and stabbing go together. It's a drive-by shooting and a stabbing. I'm like, that sounds like maybe it was set up.
I'm picturing that in my head.
So if you want to listen to what he has to say on YouTube, you can still find he got 1 million views on YouTube, you will need a better understanding of Spanish than I have, which is very minimal. So I could listen to him and hear his voice, but I can't tell you what he was saying. So, so again, so that was item number 2. As our regular listeners will know, there's nothing I enjoy talking about more than a dumb criminal or an inept one. So buckle up. It's November of 2006. All this shit happens in November.
See what I'm saying?
Right? Do you remember where you were in November of 2006? I don't remember where I was. So,
I mean, if I
was
sat here and
here.
did the math, I could figure it out, but I don't want
Yes.
to. I don't want to.
I'm sure I was freaking out about Thanksgiving because that's what I did back then. But 23-year-old Zachariah McGrew was having a bad day. He discovered that someone had stolen his car's speakers from where it was parked in Wichita, Kansas. He figured that a local teenager that he knew had to be the person who stole them, so he and some friends set off to track down the teen. When they found him, they tried to force him into their car, but he fled. No shit.
Gosh.
McGrew, no doubt drawing on his alpha male audacity, pulled a handgun from his waistband and fired at the fleeing teen. He missed. When he tried to put the gun back, he accidentally shot himself in the testicle. When he doubled over in pain, he shot himself again in the calf.
Jesus.
So, yes, he was taken to the hospital where he and his friends were charged with attempted kidnapping and assault. If you ever have time to kill and you want to shake your head in disbelief, Google the town where you live or any town where you have lived and the phrase accidental shooting. It happens a lot more than you would think. Because I was trying to find a particular incident that happened at a Mexican drive-thru here in town. You can't even narrow it down typing in Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
Because they happen there a lot. But what happened was the man drove through. I think he got his order and he was trying to put his money away. He was trying to put his change away and he had a loaded gun in his lap and he shot himself. And I believe he died because he bled out in the drive-thru.
But everybody should have guns, though.
Yes. And you should carry them loaded either in your waistband or in your lap.
Yeah.
I've never felt that I needed a loaded handgun in my lap. Ever. Ever. Seat next to you in the console. But my lap? No, I don't need a loaded. Anyway,
just cradling it. Just cradling it in your lap.
Now, you could stick it in between your boobs.
I know they have actual holsters.
Yes, they do.
They freak me out, though, because you pointed the barrel up.
So you could shoot yourself in the face?
Between the in-bust holsters. Point up.
How do you grab
So I'm like,
gun?
sure, I'm doing this. Yeah, so you just reach up your shirt and pull it down.
Does that make sense to you? Don't you think you should reach between them and just yank it out?
I get it, but I cannot get past
No.
because I came across them looking for like holsters to carry a handgun when I hike alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, not that one.
No.
What if I'm stupid and I forget the safety? Okay, chances of that probably slim with me. But what if I do? You forget to
What if you fell?
and you just pull it, and it is much harder to squeeze a trigger than I think
Yes.
it gets conveyed. But so how do these people, as hard as it is to squeeze a trigger? How did these many people like shoot themselves in testicles and calves and guts? And
so I'm thinking McGrew must have still had his finger on the trigger when he's trying to stuff the gun in his pants.
Which you do the training, you don't keep your finger on. You only put your finger on the trigger if you intend to shoot.
Yes, if you do the training. He doesn't strike me as a man with a lot of forethought.
No, I just don't. I feel like it's common sense, even if you aren't trained at guns, that you don't put your finger on a trigger unless you're going to shoot something.
Well, you and I have a different definition of common sense than some people.
I'm surprised I haven't heard of women using the bust holsters and shooting their own brain. I would like.
Well, have you Googled it?
No.
Okay, then.
Could be.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do I love? Weird British crime. In 1681. So we're going way back. This one cracked me the fuck up. There was a sexual predator active in London. A sexual predator, just one. I would be very surprised. This man
fucking city
would hide in the dark, then leap out, grab unsuspecting women who were alone, lift their dresses, and strike their buttocks with his hand or a rod while yelling, "Spanko."
Oh my God.
Yes. I mean, talk about adding insult to injury. It reminded me of Harry Dresden yelling parkour. That's where my mind went. And it's stupid, but and apparently some of the women were severely injured because he would hit them with a rod while yelling "Spanko."
How would Spanko his face out?
Well,
like, how did he not get chased down and that rod torn from his hands? And
well, the women were alone when he attacked them. So the perpetrator came to be called Whipping Tom, and the police had a hard time.
Just called him Spanko.
They should have. Police had a hard time doing anything about him. Women who had to be out alone took to arming themselves with small knives or sewing needles or scissors.
Okay.
So
I mean, if somebody is a rod, they are farther from you than that. But okay.
Well, they have to get close enough to yank your skirt up.
Sure, but I wonder how much he actually yanked the skirt up before. Like, it was like he's fucking doing the most undignified counting coup ever.
Okay, it is 1681. There probably weren't a lot of women who had a really good reason to be out alone at night.
How much? Okay, but wait, 1681, long skirts with petticoats and shit. How is he? It would take him like 20 minutes to lift that skirt up to get access to somebody's ass.
But remember, all the volume, that would be on women of means. And women of means would have servants with them or they wouldn't be out alone late at night. So, 2 men were arrested and tried, but history has lost their details. Oh. What's interesting is that in 1712, another Whipping Tom became active in London, and roughly 70 women were attacked before a man named Thomas Wallace was caught. He declared himself angry because a woman had been false to him.
Okay.
Yes. And his goal was to assault 100 women by Christmas Day. But this time he was caught and didn't make his goal.
Was this during the era where it was like, ooh, an ankle?
Yes. So his goal was to assault 100 women by Christmas Day. Then he was going to take a break and resume in the new year. I don't make this stuff up.
I would get a week's vacation.
Yes. Well, you know, it's a slow time of year. I don't know. Maybe he was going to, I don't know. Okay. So I'm going to complete my roundup of the absurd with my absolute favorite kind of story, which is victims who rescued themselves.
Uh-huh.
So I wish it with all my heart that women were never victimized in the first place, but I do love a story about someone who can fight back and does so. These are not the kind, one of them is pretty horrific. The first one is Carlina White. She solved her own kidnapping. She was less than 3 weeks old in 1987 when she was abducted from Harlem Hospital in New York City. Her parents, Joy White and Carl Tyson, spent years searching for their daughter. In 2005, when Carlina became pregnant, Ann Petway, the woman who had raised her, admitted to Carlina that she was not her biological mother. But she told the girl, the only thing she told her about her mother was she left you and never came back. Mm-hmm. Not, I took you from a fucking hospital. No, it was your mother's fault. In 2010, Carlina found a picture of herself on the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's database. So I'm happy to say that she did reconnect with Joy and Carl, who were not still together as a couple.
Oh.
And again, as you said, not all of these are like super duper happy endings. She's had a lot of difficulty processing this because the woman who raised her was her mother. Yeah. That she loved that woman as you love your mother. And it was a very hard adjustment. But the last update that I found was that She is in contact with both her mother and her father. And Petway was sentenced to 12 years in prison for kidnapping. Next, we're going to talk about Elizabeth Schoth. She was on her way home from school on September 16th, 2006, when a man who identified himself as a police officer stopped her and told her she was under arrest. He cuffed her and led her into the woods, which is when she was like, no. So he was leading her in circles to disorient her. And he's leading her through the woods. She's twigged that this is obviously not a police officer, so she took her shoes off to leave evidence that she had been there. He finally led her to a 15 by 15 underground bunker where he chained her up and raped and abused her for the next 10 days. This all took place roughly a mile from her house.
This reminds me of the Alice Sebold book.
What's it?
Oh my God.
I know the one you mean.
How do I remember the author name and not the freaking title and the movie with Stanley Tucci?
Yes, I remember it, but I can't remember the name of it. Yeah. Yes, it reminded me very much of that. Her parents had immediately reported her missing to the police, but police initially suspected, guess what? That she was a runaway.
Of course she was.
There was no indication, none, that she had run, but that's always, I can't say always, but a lot of times that's, are you sure she didn't just run away? Mm-hmm. So she kept her wits about her. She gained the trust of her captor, and when he allowed her out into the woods to get some air, she would pull out her hair and drape it on branches and on bushes to leave evidence that she was still alive, or to leave evidence that she had been there if she wasn't still alive. After several days, she was able to convince, the man's name was Vincent Filia. She convinced him to let her use his phone to play a game. Not a brain trust. He said, okay, here, sure, play with my phone. So when he fell asleep, she texted her mother that she was being held in an underground bunker and was able to give her some landmarks. That lit a fire under the police's collective butts, and they notified the media. The next day, Filia was watching TV when he saw the report on Elizabeth, and he panicked. She convinced him she could help him, so she convinced him to leave the bunker so he wouldn't be caught, to flee. So she waited. After he left, she waited for like an hour until she thought he was far enough away, then emerged from the bunker. Police were searching the area because using the cell phone, they had triangulated, and she was able to call out when she heard them shouting her name.
Good.
So he was caught and arrested the same day, and in September of 2007 was sentenced to 421 years in prison.
That's satisfying.
That's very satisfying.
And then he was paroled after 3.
It was good behavior. Okay. And last but not least is the story of, I wrote the story of Mike Kuhnhausen and Ed Haffrey. Why is it always two guys? This time it's July of 2004. And Mike hires Ed to work as a janitor at Fantasy Adult Video in Portland, Oregon. All is well. 2 years later, in 2006, Mike hires Ed again, but this time he wants him to kill 51-year-old Susan Kuhnhausen, his wife. You might ask, why would he ask janitor Ed to do this? Well, he had been in prison for killing his own ex-wife. So, sure, he got out on good behavior. Susan and Mike had been separated for about a year. And when she came home from work on September 6th, 2006, Haffey was lurking in the shadows behind her bedroom door with a claw hammer. So what you need to know about Susan is that she had been trained in self-defense. Her employer provided that training, and She took it and stayed current with it. It wasn't a one-time class. She kept taking self-defense classes. And B, she was a longtime ER nurse.
Don't fuck with an ER nurse. Don't fuck with a nurse often. But.
No nurses are to be fucked with, but ER nurses have seen it all, dealt with it all, and aren't going to take any shit from anybody. Yeah. I mean, they have
taken shit, and they are done taking shit.
They have been spit on and yelled at, and yeah. Second and thirdly, this is my personal opinion, your average 51-year-old woman has untapped reservoirs of suppressed rage. So I think every woman over 40 has untapped rage. But that's just my opinion. He did get one blow. He got more than one blow in, but the first blow was to her temple. And despite that, she fought back, and she fought hard. She slammed him up against the wall and said, "You're strong." She wrestled the hammer away from him. She tried to run away, but he pursued her, caught her, punched her repeatedly in the face. She managed to wrestle him to the floor where she bit him repeatedly. She later said that she hoped the bite marks would help police link the killer to her body. At this point, she didn't think she was going to make it out, but she was just going to make it as hard as possible on him and do as much as possible to leave evidence. But she finally got him in a chokehold and held him until she choked him out. She did not know this until later. She actually killed him.
Oh, good.
When he stopped struggling, she grabbed the hammer, ran to a neighbor's house, and called the police. And she did learn later that same evening that she'd killed him. Mike was captured about a week later and eventually pled guilty to soliciting murder. He was convicted and sent to prison, where he died of cancer in 2014, 3 months before he was due to be released.
Okay, that I'm fine with. That's like dying at the beginning of your sentence of cancer. And I'm like, I get cancer sucks. I really do. But I want you to serve. I want you to live a little longer.
And like one of the women you talked about, Susan now works as a victim advocate, helping other victims of violent crimes and advocating in the courts for their rights. She, I'm trying to think of what the specific thing was. It might have been letting victims know when people are released. She's all over it. That's where she found her calling. And when you look at her, she just looks like a nice lady. She just looks like your average person. She had short hair. I bet she was a bomb-ass nurse. And it's like, really, nurses will just take you right the fuck out.
Right.
I mean,
it seems also that the people who, at least a lot of the people who take it into their own hands to then turn around and educate and help other people tend to have a better recovery and better mental health about it. And because that's between Mary and Alison, right?
Yes.
One of them seems to be doing markedly better emotionally. And so, and that's not in any way to say like, oh, it's not worth it unless you don't. I'm just saying, I think that they are able to use that to cope then because they're like, now I'm going to help other people. And this isn't about me anymore.
We've seen that in a lot of other survivors that we've talked about. So my sources were, of course, my True Crime A Day calendar, Wikipedia, Reader's Digest, Reddit, and blurredlines.com. Blurredlines.com. Yeah. So that's my little roundup of random audacity.
Just trying to remember what I watched the other day. It's not the first time I've seen it, and somebody did the whole parkour thing. And I'm just like at the point where I'm just like, it doesn't count unless you yell parkour. It does not.
There are some reels with dogs that I look around, there's the cat just looking in the window like with the most disgusted look
she wants
on her face.
I'll let you in a few minutes.
It is really, the look on that face says, bitch, please.
Yep.
And also, perhaps, what are you laughing at?
Yeah.
But there's some reels going around on Facebook with dogs doing random stuff that dogs do. But one of them is always a little dog, and it's always someone going, parkour! As the dog is doing whatever.
They do a lot of parkour, as do cats.
Oh, cats do.
Cats really do parkour,
yes. Because it's off the ceiling.
Right. I was going to say they will leap off a wall, a ceiling, and a shelf.
Yes.
So, yeah.
They do it all. And I've just discovered I was going to go to a book group. You can find local book groups. And I thought, well, this one reads thrillers and mysteries. I love thrillers and mysteries. So I got the book for the December meeting. And I didn't like it because I knew as soon as I started reading the book what was going to happen. And it's a trope. This is not a new trope, but I just figured it out. It's a crime that happens. There's a group of college friends. One of them is murdered, and it's 10 years later or 15 years later. And at least half of these people have not moved on. And I'm like, I get it. We've all had trauma. But do you think about your trauma first thing when you wake up in the morning and last thing before you go to bed at night every single fucking day for 10 years?
They didn't even do that in It.
So, so I'm reading along and I'm like, well, obviously it's one of her friends did it. It's not the person who got sent to prison. It's one of her friends. And I was just so disgusted by it when it turned out, and I was like, ugh, no shit.
Right. Yeah. I've read some weird books lately. Like, I don't even, if I read I still like the Finley Donovan series. So I read the second one in that, and there's a third, I think. It's just at the beginning of the series.
Who's Finley Donovan? Did I just read that one?
Probably. It was one of the ones I had. So it's a murder mystery, and she's a writer, and now...
Yes, the hitman.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that was delightful.
Just read the second one.
Oh, good. Do you have it? Do I get
yes,
it?
Yes, it's on Saturday.
Now I have to figure out what I did with the first one.
Did you bring it back? Because it was one of the ones that were to be brought back. I don't remember.
Then I might have.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a fun little series. It's her advances are a lot of money. So I'm still like,
yes.
Okay. But yeah, it's pretty funny because she's divorced. She's got to deal with her ex-husband. Her ex-husband's the one he was cheating on her with, and then the woman he was cheating on, the one he was cheating with.
Yes.
And he has the love triangle that always does so well. And then, there's always got to be a hot cop.
Of course.
And there's a hot lawyer in training. And those are fun.
And they all find this reclusive woman fascinating.
And she's fascinating and gorgeous.
Yes.
Everybody thinks she's gorgeous and fascinating.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whereas we are gorgeous and fascinating. I feel like those unrecognized.
I've not been caught up in any great murder mysteries recently.
Or massive love triangles. It just doesn't.
No. Lame.
Of course, some of us are too lazy for that.
I don't have the energy for a love triangle. There's more energy than I possess. We're like, no, not today.
But no, it's like I've never encountered a cop who questioned me and then followed up to ask me for coffee because he was intrigued by my smile or my eyes.
Well, first of all, professionally, that's not a good thing for them to do.
It is not.
Yeah. So I guess we're just going to ignore that part.
Oh, but in the first book, it was a bartender.
Bartender who was a lawyer in training.
Oh, that's right. A younger.
Yeah. Julian.
Yes. Younger bartender / lawyer in training.
Yeah.
No. That's where I would go. If I thought I was going to be in trouble with the law, I would go to someone who is in law school as opposed to an actual lawyer that I don't know. My publisher might be able to put me in touch.
Right.
I will say in this one, because we frequently have the beef that in movies or books, there's a writer who gets this $1 billion advance for their first book. At least in this one, she had a publishing history.
Yes.
It was not anything.
She does have a publishing history and she runs out of money in between. And
Yes.
So she's not a gazillionaire by any means.
No.
She sure does burn through an advance.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
But she already has an agent and
so it wasn't quite as like what was the one on Mike and Molly?
Yeah.
Oh yes, here we're going to give you this huge advance. Quit your job. No. They're not going to do that.
Also, then you have to earn that out, so that's a lot of pressure. And I think
yes,
I think I'd rather not be in the position to be like, oh, look, I didn't earn that out. Oh, shit.
I'd have to pay them back. Guess what? If you
now
don't
they will never publish another of my books ever again.
Yes. If you do not earn out your advance, you do have to pay it back.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes they're like, okay, but bye.
Yep. Or if they give you an advance for your second book and you don't ever write it.
Yeah. That way you
should
definitely have to pay that back.
They get real testy about that. Yeah. Can't imagine why.
They didn't make that money back. But I think that's the only thing I've read. And we already talked about TV shows. So
we did. And we talked about restaurants. My God, we've talked about everything there is to talk about. There's nothing else.
there's nothing else. And that then is a good time to end the show.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're all talked out now. As soon as we turn this off, we won't have anything to talk about. It will be utter silence. I'll gather my things. I'll put my shoes on.
Walk of shame.
I will do the walk
out
of
the
shame
house
to my car.
I guess I should tell you that I put on a new book.
That would be good to tell the people. Yes.
The Killing Tree and Other Afflictions. This is a collection of horror, and you can totally find it at pretty much any market that you want to. It's at Barnes & Noble. It's at Amazon. It's at freaking Walmart. It's at all these ebook places.
You could get it ebooks at Walmart?
Just the paperback at Walmart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't sell the ebooks there. Just the paperback. But you can go to my website, thewarriormuse.com, and you can find the publications. And I'll say that. And you can buy a copy. I need to add that this weekend to be sent to you signed. And I have something coming out. I have a quirky mystery because I can't seem to write a mystery that's not quirky for some reason.
Who wants to read a mystery that's not quirky? The best ones are.
Right? So coming out in... You'll have to look at my website for that because I just forgot what it's called. I submitted it for one book that an anthology is supposed to come out next year. And then they were like, we would like to put this in one that we're releasing this month. And I was like, oh, all right.
Okay.
Let's do that then.
If you must.
They paid me as soon as I signed the contract. It was freaking awesome. I've worked with them before. They were great to work with before. So anyway, I know my story is called None of Your Farben Business, but that doesn't tell you what the actual book is.
Farben business?
Farben. So it's set at a Civil War reenactment.
Uh-huh.
And a farb is somebody who is not all in. Somebody who's like got, say, a cell phone.
Okay.
Doesn't have a real costume. They're farbs.
Does that stand for anything?
I don't remember. No, I don't think so.
I was just like, that's such a weird word, farb.
It is. And I don't know where I did so much research for this story. It was ridiculous. So I was researching Civil War reenactments and how they worked and what they ate and what they wore and yada, 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 yada. Which led me to a fascinating article about how women during the Civil War, basically, so many of them ended up going to becoming like liberal. Because I don't know if that necessarily that was Democrat at the time, but they became very liberal and started fighting against all this stuff because they were like, yeah, we're being fucked over and we're not doing this anymore. So it was like, I have kept that article open because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing with this yet.
But something. The most I know about Civil War reenactment is what I've read in novels, in, mysteries or whatever and it's quite a bone of contention because some people, it's their whole life. And you have to be authentic right down to your underwear or lack thereof. And some people want to do it, but they're like, if it looks right, what does it matter if it's real?
Yeah.
And I don't have an opinion either way.
Right. But, and I got inspired by an Elmore Leonard book I was reading. I was writing an Elmore Leonard book. So I was reading it, and it's like an aside. There's like some of the characters take part in a Civil War reenactment. And it was just so absurd to that extent that I was like, well, I'm going to take this to a greater extent. There is, sexual conspiracy. There's and all of this little short story.
What was the Elmore Leonard book?
I don't remember the name of it, but it was about a high diver that would...
Like Fearless Free?
He had a pool that he would set up, and he would go on top of like a hotel or whoever would book him, and he would do this massively high dive. And then he gets caught. He sees somebody get killed. Yeah. And then people are after him because they're pretty sure that he did see it because he was up on top of the fucking building when they did it. Yeah.
Do high divers exist anymore?
I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe they can't get insurance.
I would think not.
Neffy got somebody to let her in. She's been meowing at my window. And I was like, I'm recording. Yeah. It was an interesting book. Yeah.
We read so we have a family book club. And the last book we read, I can't remember what the name of it, Piranesi. It was written by the woman who wrote Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell,
Okay.
which I read and I thoroughly enjoyed. Didn't see the TV series that was based on it, and everybody really seemed to like Piranesi. I did not. So I did not have much to say because I was like, I'm not going to yuck their yum. I felt like I knew what was going to happen. It was not a new story. Nothing was surprising. I said to Joe, nothing surprised me. Nothing delighted me. Nothing amused me. So, yeah.
See, and I cannot like DNR a book. Did not read.
DNF did not finish.
Did not finish. There you go. Can't.
The book I just read for the local book club, I kept going, I should just put it down. I'm not enjoying it. And I know it's one of her friends. So, but I kept slogging through it. Then I picked up who are the two guys who write the thrillers?
Not Skip and Spectre. Oh, no. I know. Yeah. Preston and Child?
Yes. One of them writes a number of standalone novels. I read one of his.
Okay.
And those just flip right along. They should be teaching master classes in pacing.
Surprised they don't.
And maybe they do, and I just don't know about it. But yeah, it was just a paperback I picked up at the thrift store. But yeah, I read that in maybe 2 sittings because it is so fast paced, but you never feel rushed. Mm-hmm. It's just the story happens so quickly. So,
nice. See?
Yep.
Which one is it? Preston or Child?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
And it's already...
I haven't read a bunch of their stuff, though, or anything.
It's already in my pile to go to the used bookstore. I was like, finish that, take it.
Yeah, I have a bag of books to go to the used bookstore because he needs horror and sci-fi. And I was like, I've got ours. Horror and fantasy.
Which bookstore?
2 Buck Books.
I go to Base Camp. It's closer to me.
Yeah, I haven't been there. 2 Buck Books also sells a couple of my books.
Nice. So. You should check out Base Camp. I like it. I really like it. It's refreshed from, it used to be Hooked on Books.
Yeah.
They have
okay. It's their other location.
Yeah, it's the one on Maysland and Academy. But they have a sign, number of days since we've been asked if we're hooked on books or we've been called hooked on whatever. I've never seen the number not be 0.
Okay.
Even though it says everywhere, Base Camp Books. And they've moved stuff around and they've done a really nice job with it. And they're really having they have a book club. They have a lot of authors come in. So,
I'll check them out. I know that somebody sold their, and not Hooked on Books, but somebody else was selling a used bookstore recently. And yeah, I was tempted. I'm like,
I've been to that bookstore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will just say, for my personal reading taste, it skewed heavily toward nonfiction and especially with a special emphasis on a lot of religious stuff, which is not of interest to me.
Correct.
And so the fiction just wasn't as broad as it could be. It's a okay location, but I think it's been bought.
Oh, that's fine. I wasn't going to buy it ultimately when I was like, I'm not going to Fountain. If I buy a used bookstore, that bitch is going to be somewhere in the vicinity.
I was driving through Fountain one day and I said something that's become one of my favorite quotes. I was describing this whole scenario. I was with Miss Amy and I looked at her and I said, I do not have that much fuck left in me. I still say that now when I'm tired. I do not have that much fuck left in me.
I was 0 then. Now there was a liquor store by the Pie Bar that was for sale, and now it's a brewery. But that would have been fascinating to change all of they had like the refrigerator doors around the side, change all that into like bookshelves.
That would have been fun.
It actually had a bunch of nooks and stuff that would have been perfect. I wouldn't have even had to redo stuff for it, and then I could have had shelves.
The brewery got sold, didn't it?
Wackadoo?
Yeah. He was looking for a buyer last I heard, but that
I'm definitely not going to do. I don't like beer enough to own a brewery or a liquor store. Probably. They'd ask me a question. I'd be like, I don't know. I did most of my drinking when I was a teenager, and what you just asked me didn't matter at the time.
Except if you were going to do anything, you would educate yourself.
Yeah,
I know you well enough to know.
Out of it.
Yes, you would.
Yep.
You would know wine like a sommelier.
Yeah, when I had to host those friggin' Friday night
Yes.
things, I would go online and research each bottle of wine so that I could tell the people random facts while I circulated with their free samples. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know you.
It's a strength and a weakness.
Let's see it as a strength.
Yeah. I can't remember. I fell down some hole recently and Jeffrey got home and I was like, I've fallen in a hole. And I was like, want to know what I learned? He's probably, oh God. I guess.
Is it like Nikki saying, you want to hear a fun fact?
Yes, fun fact. He gets fun facts all the time
Yes.
too, believe me. He does not love them.
Because like Nikki's, they're not fun.
They're fun
They're
to us. Fun fact.
As soon as you say that, I just kind of brace. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Fun fact that you can have your throat severed so thoroughly that your head flops over, but you are still alive.
Yes.
Goo.
Yeah.
It's not her that got her throat slit multiple times. It's a different story that I listened to on I Survived. I Survived kills me because I found out that I cannot handle their 911 calls.
Oh.
If the victim themselves is calling when they're panicking. Like when there's a story of a woman who eventually I was going to do on here. I never did. Now I don't remember her name, but she hears gunshots in her house. Some guy takes her. He grabs her. He sticks her in his car. He drives her to his house. He keeps her prisoner. He rapes her. She hears on the frickin' news as he's listening to it that he had killed her husband.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he continues doing all this stuff. And she's kept captive for a while. And then he makes a mistake and she's able to get out of the room and get to his phone. And I listened to her call. And I was so pissed off at the person taking the call because they kept telling her to calm down. I was like, motherfucker, you would not be calm if you were her.
Yeah.
She found out her husband's dead. She has been kept prisoner and sodomized for days. What do you mean calm down? And I felt she was being as calm as she possibly could be. She is trying to tell them where she is, but she starts getting more frantic. But the thing that got me was the police get there while she's still on the phone. And that's when she loses that control and starts screaming, help me, help me, help me. Oh. And like, that's when I went, and then started crying in the bathtub because I was like, oh my God, that's always, that got to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, their 911 calls when you can hear that when they break on the 911 call are the ones that get me. Not like calmly saying, I've had an intruder no, that's not going to get me. But her just holding it together just enough to like try to tell them where she is the best she can and then losing it when they get to the door and just
and you can't
not being able to stop herself and she's just saying the same thing over and over and over again and her tone changes and I was like, oh yeah, nope, that destroyed me.
Oh, that's horrific.
It was. So yeah, 911 calls will get me. Oh yeah, or somebody breaking when they very rarely do they on I Survived break, which is interesting. Like they are often very calm about what they're relating, even though they almost fucking died. But like sometimes
they
break.
So many
when
times.
they break me. Yeah, that's true too. Yes, they've said this story.
By the time they're on something like I Survived, they have.
Yes,
not that I think it ever gets easy, but it's not. It's not as
it becomes
fresh.
rote and you don't get, emotional about it.
Maybe you can establish some distance. So
yeah. You just calmly relate. And then he raped me. And then he did this. And then he sodomized me. And then he did it. And they're just calmly telling you that. And you're like, my God, your nightmares must be horrific.
I don't know if I could ever get to that point.
Where you could calmly
relate it. I could probably say it without getting like visibly upset, but I don't think I would be able to relate it without going, and then that motherfucker, it would be very foul.
Right.
So who knows?
I do know that I can relate things calmly. That is all of my freaking therapy is me going, so here is what has been going on that terribly traumatized me. And let me tell you completely calmly without crying at all. Yeah. So I know I can do it.
Yes.
Because I don't like to do emotion in front of people.
No.
None of their business.
I get that.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for sticking with us for all these years.
We appreciate all of you. And that we appreciate hearing from you and getting the story suggestions and hearing that we made you laugh or made you think.
Yes.
Made you snort your tea at the computer screen. Hi, Amy.
And thank you and goodbye.
Thank you and
we're signing off.
I know. It seems we should have come up with a pithy saying.
Right? I'm going to have to change the outro to not say we're coming back. We'll be back next month.
We'll be back next
another.
month.
Yep. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Mysteries, Monsters, and Mayhem.
Find us on Facebook and Instagram or at our website, mysteriesmonstersmayhem.com.
Please like, rate, and review, follow, and share wherever your favorite podcasts are downloaded.
Thank you for listening and supporting our podcast.